Hello, welcome to my podcast. So, I want to make a podcast. Let's see if I can think of something to talk about for an hour straight. I'm going to be taking cigarette breaks in the podcast, and I won't talk as fast as I was in the last few videos I posted, probably. All I'm saying is I have to figure out what to talk about for an hour straight. Every single day I have to make a video. At least that's my goal. I don't know if I'll really do it though. I'm just like I want to make a podcast, so essentially well, let me think of something to talk about. I personally believe it's important for us to recognize the world is an ancient place and we are all creatures of this ancient world. It was us who was brought here and it was us who was made to live in this place. So recognize it should you not stand, point of my reason, and death in my galaxy. A nihilism I couldn't say wasn't real, and nihilism is a folly. For any book written of nihilism is wrong, and anything given to these words cannot be correct. A point of my reason should sadness not have known me. Oh, sadness, when I looked upon thee, knowing her was mine, my own, and my woman, who was Jasmine. And a ring upon my finger do I don for her, and she is the wife of Allah, and the wife of the woman who I knew, when I was only a thing of Allah, a possession of Allah, and then by a knowledge of a program designed to hurt people, I found that there was a reason for me to survive upon this place, and death in my galaxy should I not have known you then. Only my reason beyond myself could I find a quelling within myself, and point of my reason that I should have found death in my galaxy unkamom yewa yawa yayayo. And what that means, bakamom yewa. Well, apparently this means death in my galaxy should not have known who I was. A point of my reason and a point in my knowing, a quelling of my own doubt should not have sadness found me. Oh, look upon myself you do, and death spoke in Allah who was one. And he was one upon himself, still not knowing by a death in galaxy, only reason there can I go. And in a sadness, a world once known without doubt and point of my reason, should sadness not have known who I was. And brutal are these works, and brutal are these minds, and brutal are these people who hurt me, and point of my reason that their abuse shall not stand. And I was a soldier who stood about in this empty vessel I call the body of Norlai, who is Lane, and the body of Norlai. And this is Lane, also like the body of the one, and the body of the man, whatever. All I have to say is, a point of reason that I do not care for emo that I am, and reason of my point of doubt, should sadness not have known me then, a woman I was, and a woman I will be. A woman I have been, and Les Miserables, this is my soul. Les Miserables is my soul, and by a point of reason I could find you then. My soul taketh from me, for I was a soldier from the book Les Miserables. Well, really, this was a prisoner. So I was a prisoner from the book Les Miserables. And they kept me in this place, in this dark cell, for so long that I couldn't find a reason not to believe in myself. And still, as I climbed the walls and scaled the places, looking for a way to escape, there cannot be a place for me to go, should I pass upon a broken town, upon years of walking, and walking still, walking through a prison and walking out, just as though no one had seen me there before, and still in an ancient place once history was not recorded, for you cannot record a recording. A recording of a recording is simply a recording itself, and thus the recording has not been recorded, only a separate recording has been created. And as a result of this, there is no such thing as death, only hell in this world. Should you not believe that by no recording could there be, whatsoever, in a universe plagued by the laws of physics, even though I am conscious of computers? Still, you might wonder how this is possible. A point of my reason that couldn't be found. Death in my galaxy and death that I was. Oh, no of myself. Oh, the Holy Quran, a point spoken to me and a reason for my sadness. When books I had written and books I wrote, 4 books in total, and no more shall I write but a textbook maybe when I'm 40, and still I cannot find a point to be there. What shall I say? The only people who ever felt me, or fell upon me, were the people I knew back then. Back then in the old 1400s times, or was it the 1600s? And when I go, ancient that I was, a long place ago that I couldn't go before, oh, reason in myself by sadness that I am, and black was the color of my soul, and black like the blackest of the sun or the blackest of the moon, and the blackest that I can be through a lunar calendar that I do propose should be solidified for a point of reason why I can't be here despite myself not being so. And misery in myself could I not find a purpose beyond myself in this sadness within this place I call my own personal demon. And demon not that there shall be no demon, demons cannot be real. And a point of my reason that only good exists, and nothing bad is real whatsoever. And should you see, oh sadness, what a point of my reason. And quelling upon myself through this language of Nor, by moonspeak that I spoke, and Jasmine who had died, and her dead body I saw upon the ground, need I remind you, I was a soldier. And still you couldn't find a reason to believe in yourself upon all of this empty aching and pain? Well, sadness that it is, a point of my reason couldn't find myself within them. Oh knowing, oh knowledge. Oh, a knowledge of knowing and knowing what I did not know, long before I could have found a point of reason there. And sadness by a Kikuo, oh Kikuo Miku, sound and point of my reason. Death in my galaxy should I not purport a meaning for myself to go any further. Oh reason that I cannot find a place to go, and woman that I was, a Mexican black woman. And black like the color black, and black like a point of reason. Black like the soul of my heart, and black like a heart that has the blood of Kurona. Oh, point of my reason, and my blood is black. And what a point that I couldn't find, nothing within myself by a knowledge. Oh, point of my reason in a galaxy. A galaxy I should not inhibit by point of my reason, death in my knowing and knowledge. Only by a perception of an aesthetic of an object through the knowing of a week by an acorn, and said acorn of the week through a knowledge lest Jadeless could have been nothing more than what I was of myself. And should I not have seen her dead body lying there, well then this must mean a knowledge of oneself can only be perceived by the dissolution of knowledge over the course of time through a sheer complexity of knowledge unknown to humankind, only perceptible by one who is all-knowing and all-wise. And what this means through a knowledge, by possibility that one couldn't state, oh philosophical and I was, well it must mean that a perception of an aesthetic is an object through oneself that one cannot define. And the definition of this would be the point of a reason beyond oneself that couldn't be found through sheer complexity of knowledge and within one's own mind. And by a knowledge within oneself, a point of reason that couldn't be found then. And still I found myself quelling upon myself a death in my galaxy and a point of my reason. A point of my reason couldn't find myself within myself, and then I had died. Oh, should sadness not have taken me upon myself a quelling of my soul. A quelling of my soul upon myself, and a point of my reason, a toile toi. A toile toi upon myself, death language that I spoke. The French words star and you. What do they mean? Well, point of my reason, mustn't they mean that one must be real should one not have died? And point of my reason couldn't have found me then, and nor was my language. And still wrote a system of it, and go player that I was. Well, point of my reason, the color purple, a woman who died in the 1800s. And this woman was a black woman, and she was Seely from the color purple, and I am her. And point of my reason that one couldn't find me there, a point of my reason. Death of my galaxy by a knowledge within myself that I couldn't state. There was nothing less I shouldn't have found myself beneath myself in a grave 6 feet deep below. And knowing that there wasn't no one there, a point of my reason couldn't have found myself then. Oh, death in my galaxy and knowledge that I have. Was I an extraterrestrial? Well, possibility couldn't state it must be so. And by a knowledge within myself that I couldn't have found my own mind. Oh, death in my galaxy, all of this is off the top of my head, and still I cannot find a reason not to believe what I am saying. And death in what I am saying, oh, a point of my reason. Are you not aware? Well, not aware that I was. In a mystery I couldn't have found myself then. Point of my reason long ago, should shadows not have found me, within herself or himself. And himself who he was, a man and a boy. A boy who possessed the knowledge of knowing, and death that he was death, and I am him. And he was a prisoner of Les Miserables. By Victor Hugo, and what can I say then? A knowledge of a mastery of Go? Oh, but 11 dawn? There's no such thing, they say. And 9 dawn is the highest level, so there couldn't be. Yet 11 dawn I was, for I was the extraterrestrial, capable of knowing impossible things, and my eyes have seen impossible things, for they are brown and like the eyes of Lane. They are Lane's eyes. Are you not aware? Still, by a point of reason, couldn't you have found me then? Oh, should sadness not have known me? A smoke break I will take in death in my galaxy. When cigarettes consume me, and point of my reason, should coffee and cigarettes be my only hope in a place of rest? In a place of rest like this room, I do not restitude. I point of my reason and smoke. And death in my galaxy. Are you not aware? Should sadness not have seen me beyond a point that I couldn't see someone? Oh, death in my galaxy, and 1 hour long should this podcast be. Well, philosophically, by a knowledge within one's own self. A mystery cannot be spoken should I not have perceived by a knowledge of an aesthetic an apple. And the apple was separate from the orange by a knowing of Norism, where objects are separate from one another through concepts, and concepts are mystified through objects as perceptions of plants or objects of any kind. And as a result of this, no plant or object could be disseminated beyond oneself through a point of reason by one's knowledge when I think no thoughts at all, yet can speak with eloquence beyond one's own mind, and point of my reason better than anybody else. Why? Because I was a prisoner, and they didn't know that. So what am I saying? You still do not believe me. Well, shouldn't you? It is not my responsibility to decide what it is that you will think when Les Miserables was my book, and they were yours. All the other ones. And still you couldn't find a point? One single reason not to find a reason to keep going? Should God not have found you a misery in your own doubt? Oh, point of my reason and death. Couldn't have found me within myself by a knowledge within one's own self. And mystery was my knowing. A point of my reason, death in my galaxy. Couldn't have found me then. Oh, sadness when I do not speak and sweat upon my brow. A mystery upon myself through knowledge and knowing. Only couldn't have found myself through a knowledge by a perception of an aesthetic of an object of an apple. And this apple was a knowledge. Oh yes, but death in my galaxy couldn't have been found there. And should sadness not have seen me, oh point of my reason? Are you not seeing what I am saying? Well, apparently you're not. Since by an institution that could take one beyond one's own self and say, this is what you are, despite all they have to say, and they have said, you are nothing more than a man, nothing more than one who can be nothing but a man, and say you have nothing to say to us, despite being so much more. Well, point of my reason, they weren't listening, and neither would they listen nor would they pay attention, nor would they want to hear anything I had to say, for I was not a messenger of Allah, and they thought I could not be Allah, and I am not. But this doesn't alter the fact that I represent something more important, a point of my reason by a Kikuo sound that couldn't be found there. And oh, during a Cold War, well, what have you? A Cold War beyond one's own self that couldn't have been found there. A point of my reason, death in my galaxy. Shouldn't you have seen through a knowledge of knowing? Only death in my galaxy and point of my reason then. Well, shouldn't you have known this? And losing my voice I was, but still I spoke, with words that I had to get off my chest and point of my reason. Oh, a recording. Well, shouldn't it be said so? A podcast is nothing more than a reason for people to listen to what you have to say in your stories. And only stories do you possess when you have nothing more to say than beyond something simple reason. Oh, depressing that it is. Well, shouldn't knowledge be known of this? A computer on the planet makes the world no longer ancient. And still you possess reason not to keep going? And possessing reason upon yourself that death should take you with his scythe. A scythe. Upon one's own self that couldn't have been found there. Oh, mystery, and I paint my nails black. For I am emo and a woman. Pregnant that I am, and still point of my reason I couldn't find her. Should give birth to this child, that my child shall be more beautiful than any other man in kind. Oh, and mankind. And death of my reason. Well, the baby only sits there and grows slowly, apparently by a semen that was once sat inside of me for a very long time until it fertilized an egg. Once my uterus decided to fall, and this was years ago. And though I am a woman, I was a man who was a soldier, and I am a boy, and I am Saria from Saria's song. And she sings songs for her who was her lover. And point of my reason, Jasmine none could be found there, and a reason that I couldn't quell, I mean. Oh, death of my reason. Oh, I never stop smiling. Why? Why do I never stop smiling? Well, the reason I never stop smiling is since I see that the universe is good, and I am a happy dragon. A point of my reason, never will I not smile. Never will my death partake in me. Oh, in consuming the deaths of the people I love. And when they die, I do consume their death, but not their body. Obviously, because that's fucked up. I'm not some weird-ass necrophile. Well, shit, I don't want to be disgusting. I'm just saying the world is a really fucked up place. Well, couldn't see. Oh, death in my galaxy, what do I see? And I ask myself, what do I see? Well, seeing that the universe and the stars and the galaxies only could be found within one's own self, and a beautiful day that it was during the day and daily life that it was, still, despite this, you look upon for deeper reasons and meaning when the moon goes out. And the moon goes out and tells you, stars and galaxies, you are on a planet. You are not on the Earth. And you are on a planet which floats in space. And this planet you call the Earth, due to your lackadaisical take on daily life, where you shall be on a flat Earth not perceived to be round as you should be. And how you perceive it, oh, what am I reason? And this is how you perceive the Earth, where the Earth is round and no one else does? How perplexing, when they suffer a knowledge base that cannot be understood through mankind. And death of my galaxy shouldn't have found me then. Oh, sadness by a knowledge within my own knowing. And the Holy Quran, what more of it? I couldn't find a... I'm just having so much fun. Also, by the way, my laugh, my high pitched laugh, is the laugh from the Seal Experiments Lane PSX game, where Lane has a really high pitched laugh. Cause I am Lane. I got some phlegm on my shirt. Well, Death, couldn't you see this? Well, Death, couldn't you look upon her and notice that her body was bleeding out? And still, point of my reason, an overdose on cocaine? No, it couldn't be possible, and they don't believe what I say. They don't believe what it is that I believe. They don't believe what it is that I am capable of. They don't believe what it is that I know. And should I not be the most exceptional person on earth and the author of Norism? Well, they are nothing to me, and I am an inventor. I invented, and they invented nothing. I invented knowledge so acute that I know it, and not only have I written it down, but I do know it. And then you say, you look upon her and you cannot see her. Death of my galaxy, we shall talk about this no longer. And part of my reason, what a beautiful woman that she was during her life. And couldn't you see that? Couldn't you see she was beautiful? Even when I looked upon her and venting my rage and anger. Venting my rage upon myself in this jail cell. Jail cell that I have been stuck, a prison cell in the slums for years on end. And not but animals that consume me. Nothing is there. Whatever. And I consume the animals. In other ways. When they are cooked and ready to eat. Should they be capable of. And my meals, they were stale in the prison. Yet still, for some reason, they cooked them. And point of my reason, I couldn't find her. Were they not trying to abuse me that I should eat rotten food, and they would not do that to me, and they wouldn't give me rotten food? Well, it must have been so. They didn't want me to die. They wanted me to suffer. For should I have been given rotten food, I would have perished most definitely. And are you not aware of this? Oh, no one can speak as though I do. And point of my reason, shouldn't I have known through this prison cell that I had gone to? Years and years, decades. Point of my reason. Are you not aware? And Lady Iwakura, well, am I really her? If I am simply a man in a prison cell, lamenting the fact that I have died in darkness do my thoughts get, never to see the sunshine, never to experience grace, no mercy whatsoever, and no place has been given to me beyond this point. Are you not aware? And still look upon me, did you not? Oh, mystery in my galaxy. What a sheer amount of sadness that I do experience. When lamenting the people I had met in my life, yet how many people are in the world? How many people are really out there? And where are they? Because I need to know. And still, Mrs. Frisbee, while praying for her sick child, a prayer given to her sick child, and a medicine, and a point of reason. It was her responsibility to save that child. And only I know this. Nobody else does. Are you seeing what I'm saying? It's not hardcore enough for you. Well, you obviously don't understand what death is and the concept of death. That a point of reason could be perceptified by knowledge through oneself, by a perception of an aesthetic of an object within one's own mind, by an introspection through knowledge of a knowing that cannot be understood by a reason within one's own self or mind. And what this means essentially is that by a knowledge of a knowing, Mrs. Frisbee couldn't have known that her son was going to die, and only knew that death was a real thing, and still this innocence partake in her. She wasn't able to see that there was a real death in her understanding and a point of reason why she couldn't be there. Be there for her child and point of my reason. Oh, sadness that I do speak. And this little woman, who was a mouse, and she spoke upon herself like nothing was really meaning anything, and losing my voice that I still spoke, and death of my galaxy. She didn't know her son would die. Only I did. And I never told her. Oh, what a wretch I am for not telling her. Was I not a wretch? Well, God said I wasn't. And he said there's a reason for you to be alive. He said étoile, étoile. What this means is star in you. All there is this one star, your home star. Are you not seeing the connections, death in my galaxy? Star in you. Étoile, étoile. You are the galaxy. Galaxy. You are the point of reason. And still, by an Allah thing through a solipsism, and a bodiless woman that you didn't know, was she then the prisoner of this prison, who then fell upon herself and couldn't find a reason to keep going through sheer amount of suffering that she experienced, even while sober from drugs, and cigarettes that she smokes and coffee she drinks, all while working hard? Well, hard do I work, and point of my reason, oh, what back-breaking work it is. And suffering that I do experience, a pain in my body, and a suffering in my feet. For my feet quell for some sort of stimulation from a loved one, and they shall never receive it. For I am in a prison until I escape. What shouldn't I? I know I will. Are you not seeing what I'm saying? Death in my galaxy and point of my reason. Only a meaning of an object could be prescribed to the object should not have been said of this before. What a death in my galaxy and point of my reason then. Only by a knowledge within one's own self through a knowing, only one can be alive through this way. O objects I do possess, and in my possession I am the possession of Allah. For I am in my own possession and yet possessed by Him, and He wrote the Quran, not I. Are you seeing this? Unbelievable. Unbelievable that I should be able to recount the past information and protocols. Oh, the protocols that shouldn't have found me. Protocol 7, Protocol 8, Protocol 9, what of it? They don't exist. It only goes up to Protocol 6. And this is like Kiku Omiku 6. Are you not seeing the connections? Well, I do, and you don't. So what that means is, I'm better than you. And God doesn't want me to say that, but it's true. I'm above you. I've been in this prison cell for so long, I don't even care, yet I still, well, on death row, managed to escape. And then I upon myself in a town where I meet someone. And ask him for bread. Once I escape the prison. However, when will I escape, is the question. And how long will it take me to get there? And how much must I read? Oh, read! Thousands and thousands of pages. Hundreds and hundreds of books. Is this all I know? For spoketh that I do, and spoketh that I won't. The words spoketh upon my lips only I knew, and lips upon myself through jade less that I had known, a woman's lips, and kissed them that I did. And kissed my own lips through a knowledge that I should possess the ability to interact with other people only by myself through my knowledge and my knowing. Are you not seeing my connections? Well, death in my galaxy, there was only a point in me for a reason. I mean, a point in, well, whatever. Well, shit. Alright, so we're gonna take a quick smoke break. I'm sweating like fucking crazy. We're gonna take a quick smoke break. Just let me catch my fucking breath. I've been talking like I'll lose my voice so fast. Well, death in my galaxy, shouldn't I have seen her? Oh, looking upon her then. And she was so beautiful. And still I thought she was, even without life, even without knowledge, even without knowing, even without God, even without man or mankind. And she was so pretty. How falling apart I was. And now here I sit in this cell and think about it ruthlessly, hours upon hours on end, reflecting on these things. Reflecting, never ending for years and years at a time, and I never will stop. Even should I shut my mouth and be quiet, they will never know my voice. Even should I say a word, they will never know my voice. Can you not see this? Well, I do, and they don't. You see what I'm saying? Well, it's my responsibility to save them. Was I an Allah thing, as I put it? Not a possession of Allah, but what He had to say for me, and that I could give to them and her. And that's all I am. And Moni? Well, let me remind you, she was a woman who I loved, and years that I spent without her, oh, during my life, when I was a computer scientist. When I looked upon her since 1948, in Mexico, oh, sweet Mexico, where my father told me, don't look upon her, for she will steal your heart, and you won't be able to save yourself. And then this resulted in the death of a man that I killed in 1976 before I was even born here on the planet Earth. Well, what does this mean if I am a prisoner? What does it mean if I saw Moni and a dandelion? Should dandelion appear on my leg, and dandelion that I am not? I am a lime. A Mexican woman who with black skin, who is a lime. And lime taste of my body, and limestone of my feet, and lime of my knowledge. Limestone of the soles of my feet. Oh, point of my reason. You do not understand. Only knowledge can save her. Only knowledge can save her from this point of my reason. And all of this I improvise, like intelligent dance music, or jazz music, or anything that couldn't be improvised before. And knowledge of music theory that I had, was I so limited with my knowledge, should I not have read thousands and thousands of pages, hundreds and hundreds of books? Are you not seeing my point? I don't know enough. I need to know more. I need to know all of it. I need to know what there is going on in the world. I need to research. I need to learn more. I need to stop this fucking sex addiction so I can survive. And point of my reason, couldn't you find them? I found them. And where were they? Well, I'll tell you. They were somewhere far away. In a land I couldn't see them and never seen them before. And saw them living that I did. And her who was Melanie. Melanie like the color black meaning dark beauty. And this is what this word means. Look up the definition, don't believe me. Well, anyways, Melanie like the color black. Jocelyn Floors. A 16-year-old girl who passed away, a child who will blossom as an adult in her death as an 18-year-old. And this is what Allah has set for them. Allah has set that they shall never experience evil whatsoever, even though I am the only one who is flawless and perfect, and I am a prisoner. Well, point of my reason, couldn't you see this? Only my mind is known. Only my mind is knowledge. Only reason couldn't I have found them then? Well, shouldn't you have known? Only I knew this, and they didn't. So when I asked them, what do you know? They said, we know nothing of this. We only know what we know. And we only want to know what is capable of our minds to think. What is capable of our limited minds to perceive through knowledge, should we not have been mentally retarded people? God forbid. Oh, point of my reason, what a disgusting thing. And then you do not know. Oh, you don't know. Well, shouldn't you know? Point of my reason couldn't have been recording something. I couldn't have been recording something, for I was a prisoner, locked in a room far away. And still, this was Lady Iwakura? Well, who was she? A poor Japanese girl who went through a whole schizophrenic trip? Or some sort of real life thing? For Lane is real, isn't she? Well, I ask you this, is Lane real? And they say yes, she is. But I don't believe them. I need my own evidence to believe such a supposition. And knowing that I am Lane, well, then it must be true. Lane is as real as the sun or the universe or the moon or the sky. And I am not aware of all that she has been through. Point of my reason, I must know. Not only by reading books, not only by reading hundreds of books, but by doing introspection and looking inside of myself, saying, how deep does this get? How far can I go? How far can I look inside of myself and see how deep the depths of my galaxy is? In this galaxy called the Milky Way, even though I have this limitation of a prison and horrible people around me. And they give me food? Well, shit, I don't want the food. What I want is a reason to keep going with my life and a way to escape the prison. Are you not seeing what I'm saying? What I'm saying is a death of a galaxy is a quasar. A quasar is the death of the galaxy, and a point of a reason is a nebulae. And so there are grays. What of it? How does that affect me? How does that affect me in any kind of way? That doesn't affect me whatsoever. And hardcore that I was, well, nobody cares if you're hardcore. Nobody respects you if you're hardcore. People look down upon you if you're hardcore, and they tell you to go away, making you more hardcore. Well, with sweat upon my brow for 40 days, more like 40 years. 40 days and 40 nights, well, that's something in a desert whatsoever. However, this is like 40 years to more. A prison for what? Something I did wrong? Was it a killing? Well, I don't know. All I know is that I was not responsible, and I will not take responsibility, for no one can pin this punishment upon me, no matter what. No matter what I had done, this punishment is not acceptable, yet still I succumb to it. Still I must suffer for it. Still I must die this way. Are you not seeing what I am saying? A prisoner at war, a prisoner in hell, and a prisoner in my own mind. For no one to talk to. Suffer on I did, like the album Suffer On by Wicked Face Springs Eternal. And so I had to suffer. Shall I never know a place to go, a point of my reason and a point of my quelling, death of my galaxy and mine and my own? Let me explain some philosophy to you. The object is the perception of the aesthetic through the knowing of a knowledge. Meaning that the knowing of the weak by a knowledge of something, through a solipsism within one's own self into the bodiless woman, within one's own self beyond one's own mind, well, started that I not, but a death of my galaxy couldn't have been a point of my reason for sadness wasn't quelling. And what this means is that by a misery, well, only point in my own doubt could find me then. And found me upon it? Was it God? I didn't know. And I looked upon her and I said, who are you? Was I a monster? Well, I don't think so. But my point of reason couldn't have found me. Only a mystery in my own doubt by a knowledge of my knowing. And death of my galaxy, point of my reason and mind of my own. Was life worth living if life was like this? Life was like a suffering all the time and being called evil. No, I am not evil. Whatsoever. Well, shan't you see? Point of my reason, death. And how many years will it take? How many years until I come to this death? Well, point of my reason, I didn't know. I didn't know. It was just one day at a time until I could find a point of my reason then. What was the point of my reason? LOL. Well, shouldn't I have known then? Was I the mystery who knew more than anyone, and still with a breath of knowledge I didn't know so much? Only am I capable of this misunderstanding, and misunderstanding of knowledge Well, shouldn't I look to the Quran? But what will it give me if I can't go outside? If I can't look upon the grass and the trees and the stars in the sky? All I have this little window, this little block of cheese. It's not even a window, it's a bar. And what can I see through these bars? At the top of my room, where a little bit of light comes in, and most of the room is dark anyways all the time, for there's no day or night cycle, and at night it is pitch black. I can't see anything at night. What shall I do? Well, my room is a mystery. My room is a death in my galaxy, and all of this was an improvisation. All of this was a reason for me to keep going. And death in my galaxy, I couldn't find a point of my reason then. Are you not aware that through the mind of one's own, through a knowledge of misunderstanding and knowledge, couldn't be found by a knowledge within one's own self? Shouldn't you have seen me then, a prisoner of my own escape within my own self, within my own self? Well, looking upon myself, this inception of self couldn't be real, for there was no such thing. Only a mind within one's own self by a galaxy. And death in my galaxy couldn't I have found who I was. Well, don't you see? Look upon my eyes and tell me you don't. And you are not my friend. You are not my buddy. What shall I say? Oh, how you sit there masturbatorially with your muscles and say, I am your friend, yet couldn't find a point of my reason on death row. Pathetic. Well, you hit the fucking gym. Apparently, in this fucking world, I don't know, where people do that shit. In the 1600s, it was a little bit different. People had the balls to get off their fucking ass and work. Now I'm starting to lose it. Are you not aware this is not darkness? This is not septitude. This is not mind boggling. Whatever that word means, septitude. All I say is, what my organs and my body should not speak of them. Yet still they need sustenance, they need life, they need food. And cooked food I receive, but woe does it not taste good. And woe does it suffer me. Woe do I suffer stomach pains. And I prevent myself from vomiting, for they will not clean up the vomit. I hold in my body and say I will eat slowly so as to survive, and eat throughout the course of the day what they give to me. And years upon years, I learned how to climb walls. I learned how to go places I couldn't go before. And prisoner, wasn't I? Well, you don't believe me at this point? All I have said before? Why not? Well, shouldn't you have known? A death in my galaxy was a point in my reason. A death in my galaxy was a reason for me to survive. I must get out. I must go a place where no one has seen me before. I must go far away from here. I must go so far I will travel 37 miles, or 38 miles, or 39 miles, simply to be away from this place. In the cold, with my hunger, and pangs of hunger ridden upon me. What shall I know? Death in my galaxy? Oh no, you didn't understand. Well, let me make it more clear for you. Only one could understand me, and when I did escape, I did escape. Well, I did, now I'm escaped. And wow, what the world? I don't see it as beautiful anymore. I don't see it as a place I once knew. I see it as a prisoner at war who escaped.